Hello teachers, good afternoon. So, this afternoon we're going to check your 5 items assignment and professional education. Handa na ba ang lahat? So, let's start with number 21. Which appropriate teaching practice flows from this research finding on the brain? Sabi, the brain's emotional center is tied into its ability to learn. Ang tinatanong, teachers, kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng notion ng research na the brain's emotional center is tied into its ability to learn. Is it letter A, establish the discipline of being judgmental in attitude? B, come up with highly competitive games where winners will feel happy? C, create a learning environment that encourages students to explore their feelings and ideas freely? Or letter D, tell the students to participate in class activities or else won't receive plus points in class recitation. Teachers, just a piece of advice on how to answer in Prof Ed, dapat dito sa Prof Ed, ikaw ay mabait na guro. So, kung ikaw ay mabait na guro, alin dito sa 4 na options ang pinakamabait? Letter A kaya, establish the discipline of being judgmental in attitude. Ibig sabihin nito, ikaw ay magiging judgmental. Siyempre, being judgmental gives you a negative notion. Out natin yan. Letter B kaya, come up with highly competitive games where winners will feel happy. Dito naman sa letter B, sinasabi na magbibigay ka ng mga competitive na mga games, highly competitive games kung saan yung mga nanalo, yung mga winners will feel happy or magiging masaya sila. What about yung mga natalo? You're being judgmental din. So, out natin sa letter B. Or letter D, tell the students to participate in class activities or else won't receive plus points in class recitation. Dito sinasabi na dapat yung mga estudyante ay magpa-participate sa mga activities. Kung hindi, they will not receive any plus points. So ito din ay parang may negative na dahilan or notion. Based on the concept above, ang sinasabi dito guys, the brain's emotional center is tied into its ability to learn. Ano dapat? Create a learning environment that encourages students to explore their feeling and ideas freely. Ganun lang. Sinasabi nito ito yung practice na nagsusupport ng research finding kung saan the brain's emotional center is tied into its ability to learn, yung kakayahan mong matuto. When students feel safe and encouraged to explore their feelings and ideas, the brain's emotional centers such as the amygdala and hippocampus can better facilitate the encoding and retention of new information. A positive open atmosphere reduces stress, which is known to hinder cognitive performance. Basta sinasabi teachers na ang isang bata ay mas natututo kapag they will explore freely their feelings and their ideas, If you will create a learning environment for them, why don't you let them explore para mas ganado silang matuto, para mas ganado silang matutunan ang isang lesson. Yun. Letter C ang ating tamang sagot. Now, let's move on. Number 22. So, congratulations sa mga nakatama. Ayan. Okay, number 22. Research on precision test indicates that thinking becomes more logical and abstract as children reach the formal operation stage. What is an educational implication of this finding? So teachers, pag-aralan nyo si Piaget because kay Piaget meron siyang mga various topics na mga formal operational stage, concrete operational stage. Pag-aralan nyo yun kasi sometimes tinatanong sa LET exam, no, ano yung about sa formal, ano yung about sa concrete, ano yung about sa abstract, mga ganon. So dito, tinatanong, what is the finding on formal operational stage? Is it letter A, engage children in analogical reasoning as early as preschool to train them for higher order thinking skills, or the HOTS? B, learners who are not capable of logical reasoning from ages 8 to 11 lag behind in their cognitive development, or letter C, let children be children. Letter D, expect hypothetical reasoning for learners between 12 to 15 years of age. Ano yung clue, teachers? Sinabi ko na, no, the formal operational stage. So sa formal operational stage, what is the age mostly ng mga kabataan dyan? Formal operational stage. Siyempre, hindi sila kids na, no? Hindi sila kids, hindi sila nasa 2 to 3 years. Kasi, nasa 12 to 15 years na sila. That is letter D. They going to expect hypothetical reasoning for learners between 12 to 15 years of age. This is according to Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Noon, minimemorize ko talaga ito, yung mga ano bang theory ni Piaget, anong theory ni Howard Gardner, anong theory ni Vygotsky, no? Minimemorize ko yan noon. But during our time, walang lumabas kung ano yung mga nila topics or yung mga pinag-aralan nila, but lumalabas yung kung ano yung sa formal operational age, anong stage, anong age, ano yung kaya nilang gawin, mga ganun. So pag-aralan nyo din yun. Okay, go back sa ating rationale. According to Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development, the formal operational stage teachers typically begins around pagka 12 years old ng bata hanggang 15 years old, hanggang din sa paglaki niya, no? Or adulthood. During this stage, children develop the capacity for hypothetical deductive reasoning. So at this age, nasa high school level na sila. And of course, when you say high school level, they can think hypothetically, no? They can think of that, allowing them to think about abstract concepts, systematic problem solving, and what-if scenarios that are not tied to concrete physical reality. Therefore, an educator should align their expectations and curriculum to include more complex hypothetical tasks for students in this age range. So, sinasabi sa last rationale natin or explanation natin, sinasabi na yung mga teacher, dapat alam nila kung ano ba yung stage or level ng kabataan para maangkop nila kung anong klaseng motivation, kung anong klaseng lesson yung ibibigay nila. Dapat align yan sa age ng students. Syempre, grade 1 pa lang yung pupil mo, bibigyan mo na agad ng mga what if na questions, bibigyan mo na ng problem solving. Yun yung sinasabi ko, hindi angkop. Dapat as a teacher, alam mo how to angkop, how to align your lesson to your students, to their level. So, ganun dito sa hypothetical deductive reasoning. So, ang ating tamang sagot, teachers, ay letter D. Yan yung kapag formal operational stage, sinasabi na kaya na ng bata mag problem solving, kaya na ng bata mag hypothetical deductive reasoning or thinking. Ayon. So, dito, teachers, pinapakita, meron tayo ditong Jean Piaget's stages of development. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, ha? Meron tayong sensory motor. Ito yung age nila, 0 to 2 years. Diba? Sobrang bata pa. So, kids pa lang. Ang kanyang explanation dito, learns through senses and actions, touching, looking, mouthing. So, sa sensory motor na kaya lang ng bata na pag-aralan yung mga senses, yung mga touching, yung mga looking, yung mouthing, no? Yan, lang yung makayanan nila. Kaya nga sensory motor from the word senses. So lahat ng senses, hindi naman siya lahat, no? It depends on the age pa din ng bata. Kasi baka 1-year-old pa lang siya, syempre hindi pa fully developed yan. So basta it talks about the senses. Okay? Now, let's move on sa pre-operational. Ito naman yung edad na 2 to 7 years old. Medyo lumaki-laki na sila. Anong kaya nilang gawin? They can develop language and use symbols, thinking egocentric. Okay, so sa 2 to 7 years old, yung mga bata, kaya na nilang magsalita paunti-unti. And they can use symbols. For example, no, di ba, yung araw, nung bata tayo, yung araw, pag nagdo-drawing tayo, nilalagyan natin ng mata, no? And the word is egocentric. Egocentric. Yung akala mo na may buhay yung araw, yung akala mo na may buhay yung mga flowers. Kaya naman, pag nagdo-drawing tayo nung bata tayo, nilalagyan natin ng mata, ng bibig, kasi we are thinking na they are human like us. They can talk like us. So, ganon yung ating kakayahan nung 2 to 7 years old pa lang tayo. Okay, now let's move on sa ating concrete operational year. So, ito naman yung mga 7 to 11 years old ka na, medyo nagdadalaga ka na. So, ano na kaya mong gawin dito? You can think more logically about concrete events, understands conservation. Dito naman, alam mo na, no? Alam mo na yung mga bagay-bagay. For example, kapag may isang basong tubig ka, puno yung tubig ng isang baso. Kapag may isang basong tubig ka, and then nilipat mo siya sa isang ilagay na lang natin sa isang petzel, masasabi mo na same lang yung laman. So, ibig sabihin, in other words, kaya mo nang intindihin na kapag ilipat mo man siya sa may malaking lagayan, the same amount pa rin yung water. So, hindi tulad ng mga 2 to 7 years old na, di ba, nagagalit sila na kapag yung kanilang iniinom na soft drinks, ililipat mo lang sa medyo malaking nalagayan, sabihin nila, bakit lumiit? No, yun, hindi pa kasi nila kayang umintindi ng mga scenarios na ganon. So, ayun lang. So, 7 to 11 years old, kaya mo nang intindihin, kaya mo na mag-conserve, no? Kaya mo na mag-think logically. Okay, ito yung question natin kanina formal operational stage. Ito naman yung 12 years old ka hanggang ikaw ay patanda na. Ayan. So, of course, during this age, kaya mo nang mag-abstract. You can develop your abstract and hypothetical thinking. Things about future and moral issues. So, ikaw dito, kaya na natin, no, mag-think, mag-isip ng what if, ano kayo mangyayari sa future ko? Ano kayo mangyayari sa akin 10 years ago? So, yun. You can think more logically. Ayan. So, tandaan nyo lang po yan, guys. Apat lang naman kay PCA. Sensory motor, pre-operational age, concrete operational, tsaka yung formal operational. So, yun. Okay, now let's move on. Number 23. Ayan, nakatama. I see a lot of you get the correct answers, ha? Congratulations, teachers. Now, let's move on. Number 23. Research says people tend to attribute their success to internal causes and their failures to external causes. The word is internal tsaka external. Sinasabi na yung, according daw sa research, ang mga tao ay mas na-attribute nila ang success, no? Sa kanilang internal causes and their failures sa kanilang external causes. Kapag success, internal. Kapag failure, external. Ganon. So, ano ba? Based on this finding, what should be taught to students for them to be genuinely motivated to succeed? Okay. Kapag sinabi nating internal teachers, internal, sarili mo mismo, meaning you are motivated sa sarili mong paraan. For example, Gusto mong pumasa sa exam dahil gusto mong matuto. Gusto mong makakuha ng lisensya. Yun yung internal eh. Gusto mo maging LPT. So, internal yan. Sarili mo mismo ang kalaban mo. Kapag sinabi nating external, yung kalaban mo dito, yung surroundings mo, yung mga taong na nakapalibot sa'yo. For example, gusto mo maging LPT. Gusto mong pumasa sa licensure examination for teachers dahil sa mga taong nakapalibot sa'yo, dahil minamak ka nila, dahil feeling nila hindi mo kaya, so ganon. So masasucceed ka sa isang bagay dahil sa kanila. Ganon yung external eh. Ganon yung difference ng internal tsaka yung external. Again, kapag internal, sarili mo yung kalaban mo. Kapag external, yung mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo yung kalaban mo. Ganon yon. So, dito, based on the finding, paano ba turuan ng mga bata na maging genuinely motivated sila sa kanila para maging successful sila? Is that letter A, tell them the research finding when applied will make them genuinely motivated. Ano daw? Tell them the research finding when applied will make them genuinely motivated. Parang kulang nung sentence ng letter A. Letter B, convince them that genuine motivation is the only factor that matters for a person to succeed. The only factor. Ito mostly kasi lumalabas only. I-convince mo sila daw na yung genuine motivation ay nag-iisang factor lamang para masucceed or maging successful ng isang tao. Letter C, make them realize that failure is a part of life. I-realize mo kasi na okay lang yan. Failure is a part of life, okay lang yan. Or letter D naman, make them realize that both success and failure are more a function of internal causes. Genuinely motivated. Kapag sinabing genuinely motivated, internal or external? Genuine ka totoo ka sa sarili mo Kailangan wala kang intindihin na tao. Kapag wala kang intindihin na tao, sarili mo lang yung iintindihin mo. So that is more on internal causes. Sa letter D, pinag-usapan ang success tsaka failure. Sinasabi na ipaparealize natin sa mga kabataan na ang success tsaka ang failure ay function ng ating internal causes. So, for example, ikaw, sarili mo, yun bang parang gusto mong matuto dahil sa sarili mo, dahil gusto mo, hindi lang gusto ng ibang tao. Gusto mong pumasa sa exam dahil gusto mo makuha ang lisensya, hindi dahil gusto nila. So, ganun yung ibig sabihin ng ating research finding. At saka, nasabi dito sa letter D na ganun yun. Internal causes. Success and failure are a more function of internal causes. Letter D ang ating tamang sagot. So, dito sinasabi na ipaparealize natin sa kanila para ma-empower na mag-take sila ng kanilang personal responsibility. Tsaka ma-learn nila from their own mistakes, and understand that their actions directly influence their outcomes, ultimately building intrinsic motivation. Ikaw ba, teachers, kapag may gusto ka bang gawin, ano ba yan? Intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation? Ako, naniniwala ako, guys, na kapag intrinsic motivation, yung paggaganahin mo, talagang long-lasting yung success mo di ba? Tsaka mas makukuha mo siya kapag intrinsic. Yung sarili mo, yung kalaban mo, di ba? Gusto mo makuha ang isang bagay kasi gusto mo, wala kang kinaiinggitan, hindi mo kailangan makipagsabayan. Ganon yung intrinsic motivation. So, sana lahat intrinsic Okay, I'm not saying na mali naman talaga yung extrinsic, pero mas pagaganahin natin yung ating intrinsic motivation. Okay, now let's move on. Number 24. Which of the following steps should be completed first in planning an achievement test? Ito, I know a lot of you hindi na dapat magkamali dito kasi kapag sinabing first Ano ba yung dapat nating isipin bago ang lahat-lahat? A. Define the instructional objective. B. Set up a table of specification. C. Select the types of test items to use. D. Decide on the length of the test. Bilang teacher, at nag-undergo tayo sa practice teaching, nung gumawa tayo ng mga exams, periodical test, long test, ano ba yung inuna nating gawin? Ano ba yung first move natin? Okay, I know walang magkakamali dito. And that is letter A. Kailangan muna nating i-define ang ating instructional objective. At ang ating instructional objective ay may tatlong level or may tatlong consist. The CAP. Ano yung C? Cognitive. Tumutukoy ito sa mental ability ng estudyante mo. Affective. It talks about behavior, emotions, no? Psychomotor, ito naman yung ano naman ang kaya nilang gawin. Psychomotor. Ayan. So, ito ay mostly, dancing, writing, mga ganon-ganon. So, basta, bago ka gumawa ng test, kahit anong exam yan, dapat alamin mo muna yung instructional objective mo. Kung wala ka pang instructional objective, of course, you have to make first the instructional objective. Dapat kasi guys, naka-align lahat ng ginagawa mo sa objectives mo. Yung objectives natin, yan ay tinatawag na blueprint. Blueprint, ibig sabihin, dyan tayo nakabase sa lahat ng gagawin natin. Kasi if wala tayong objectives, wala tayong babasihan, magiging chaos yung ating lesson. Wala tayong patutunguhan, para lang tayong nabubuhay na walang patutunguhan. Ganon yon. So first, you have to define your instructional objective. Sinasabi dito na this is the first and most critical step because an achievement test is designed to measure whether students have met specific learning goals. Bakit ka ba gumagawa ng test? Para malaman mo, teacher, kung na-met ba, na-achieve ba ng mga estudyante mo yung iyong goals or yung iyong objective. So, dapat may objectives ka talaga. So, you must know exactly what you want students to achieve before you can decide how to test it. Pagkatapos mong gumawa ng instructional objective, the second step that you will do is set up your TOS or table of specification. So, once you have your objectives, you can create a blueprint or table of specifications or the TOS to ensure the test items are proportionally distributed across those objectives. So, hindi dapat na basta ka lang gumagawa ng items. Dapat yan, may psychomotor, may affective domain, may cognitive domain. Yung yung Bloom's taxonomy, doon ka magbe-base ng yung table of specification, the knowledge, the comprehension, the application, the synthesis, analysis, yun. Basta yun. Basahin nyo na lang yun. So, yun yung second step natin. And of course, follow up natin yung ibang mga steps pa. Basta yung the first step talaga is to define your instructional objective. And that is letter A, teachers. Ayan, letter A. Nakuha? Ayan, very good. So now, ito na ang ating panghuling tanong. Number 25. The computed R for scores in math and science is 0.92. What does this mean? Ayan, di tayo magsasolve dito Simpleng explanation lang ito. Letter A. Math score is positive related to science score. B. The higher the math score, the lower the science score. C. Math score is not in any way related to science score. D. Science score is slightly related to math score. Paano natin siya i-define or paano natin siya malalaman? Ito lang yon. The computed R for scores in math and science is 0.92. Tandaan nyo po yan. The value R, yung R na sinasabi, and then ang score sa math at sa science is ilan? 0.92. At yung 0.92 ay positive. Positive yan kasi walang negative na sign. Positive yan, ha? Therefore, tinatawag ito na person correlation coefficient, which measures the strength and direction of a linear relationship between two variables. Sinasabi dito na kapag positive ang sign, it indicates a positive correlation. So, ibig sabihin, kapag tumaas ang score mo sa math, tataas din yan sa science. Ganon lang yun kadali. Kapag positive, 0.92, positive yan. Kapag tumaas yung score mo sa math, tataas din yan sa science. Ganon lang kadali, no? So, yun yung basihan natin. Wala nang explanation na iba. So, alin dito? Kapag tumaas yung isa, tataas din yung isa. Ibig sabihin, they are positive related. Ayan, so the correct answer is letter A. The math score is positive related to science score. Ayan, so 0.92, ito lang yung basihan natin, positive yan. Therefore, ibig sabihin kapag positive, kung tumaas yung math, tataas din yung science. For example, kung tataas din yung Filipino mo, tataas din yung English mo, ganun lang yun. They are positive related, magkapareho lang sila. Related sila each other, no? Tataas yung isa, tataas din yung isa. So, ganun lang naman, teachers. Ayan. So, question. If you have some questions, you can comment down below. And, ayan, comment na din po ng inyong score. Teachers, 5 out of 5. Congratulations sa mga naka-perfect ng score. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and, of course, see you sa mga susunod pa nating mga assignments. Ayan. So, if you have some friends na magte-take din ng licensure examination for teachers this September, please invite them sa ating group chat na may araw-araw na review para pumasa na din sila sa LET. Kasi I see a lot, no, nagme-message sa akin, hindi sila nakapasa sa LET. So, thankful ako kasi ang daming nakapasa sa atin. Thank you so much, everyone. This is Teacher Joy, and yun lang po. Bye, everyone!